Guys, do you know that Jamaica, a land of rhythm, resilience, and rich soil, is now facing a heartbreaking crisis? Across the island, from the plains of St. Elizabeth to the hills of Manchester, fields once full of crops now lie in ruin. The nation, known for feeding the Caribbean, is today fighting for its own food security. And while citizens struggle to feed, or rather to find even a drop of water or a handful, of rice, fingers are pointing toward one man, the Minister of Agriculture, Floyd Green. The accusations are they are heavy: neglect, poor planning, and misplaced priorities. And even claims that while farmers were losing everything, the minister was busy keeping party and selling limestone for profit. Well, today, guys, I want us to break down the truth behind Jamaica's food crisis, how a hurricane exposed deep cracks in leadership, relief distribution, and national planning.
Yo, I don't know if I'm gonna pick up this, but I am picking up food shortage in Jamaica sometime soon. Because if all of the food I left from one place, bro, I go to one place, what do you think I got? Because remember, people can't buy no scallion, them can't buy no thyme, them can't buy no tomato, them can't get no yam, them can't get no plantain, them can't get no banana, them can't get no pumpkin, them can't get no orange, them can't get no lime, because everything blow down. All these farmers in these western parishes, anybody with their Kingston a plant right now, and them places are backyard farming for them own personal use. And with all these purchases like in these places, because I see somebody go up and go a Price Mart, big Price Mart, for buy a bag of rice, and them couldn't even get a bag of rice because somebody come and buy 50 bag one time. Somebody come and buy 20 bag one time. The water them are buy them by the cases. So with that being said, I am picking up food shortage in Jamaica sometime soon. Yes, we want to help everybody. I mean, food a fly from overseas, yes, but at the same time, the people on the ground are buy off the stuff them in the store them. That's why I see some stores lock up them store and no want to sell nobody nothing. A lot of stores still closed because them can open but them don't want to open for sell, because them know some people are going to come in and start buy out everything, and them can't replenish.
People of Jamaica, yeah, then abroad, people can't wicked, so the brother they were named Floyd Green, Agriculture Minister. Instead of him trying to save a crop of Jamaica, which is St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and then place them. Certain parts of the country where are the crop of Jamaica, where you know say if them the place run out of food, we dead for hungry. You know where Floyd Green did out and do? He man out and about and a keep party when the COVID come out, and then he sell 300% of limestone. So them man they only care about the money. You get me I say? So those are making people them know right now. Jamaica have a shortage of food right now. Right now. And you better start blame Floyd Green for that. Floyd Green caused all of this. Blame Floyd Green.
I think some of you need to understand, especially the people in Kingston and St. Catherine and the other parishes that have not been devastated with this hurricane. Let me tell you what the problems that you're about to experience. Because I don't think some of you know. A lot of you are just casually going by. I don't think you have a clue. There's no food in the country. Been saying that. There's no food. You know what the government should have done? The farmers from St. Elizabeth, Manchester, who would have survived the hurricane. The Minister of Agriculture, should have arranged for every single one of these farmers to come together, relocate them, identify farmlands in St. Catherine and Kingston. Trust me, there's a whole heap of farmlands, especially in St. Catherine, that are not being used, that are currently being bought out to put houses on. Yeah.
For this hurricane relief, you guys, people are taking advantage of people and scamming. So in order for you not to get scammed, I would stay away from any government donation resources, if you're not 100% sure that they are delivering your items or putting the donations towards the people, right? So I'm just going to be very transparent. I have family and I have friends that are in Jamaica. Now, I know that it takes time for them to cover as much ground as they're covering, but I'm just going to be honest. Some of these people that are living in the countryside, that are living in mountains, that are living like not on the main areas, they are not being taken care of. All these supplies that's been flying in, they are not getting to the people that are really actually in need. So this is what my advice is for people that are donating to people in Jamaica. The best thing for me, I feel, is you go donate yourself. Like, you go to Jamaica, you hop on a plane to Jamaica, and you go out on the road. And if you're scared to go out on the road, take your driver with you, and he can take you to a community that needs the help. Number two, if you know somebody that's going to Jamaica, and you just want to put items in their suitcase so they can deliver them to him. If you're going to ship a barrel directly to the people that you know and have their name on it, so you know that it's getting to the right people. There are so many people that are getting, literally, they don't have nothing. They don't have no food. They don't have nothing. So I know that they're bringing in these helicopters and these jets and stuff, but they brought in a lot of supplies. And there's a lot of people that still don't have nothing, not even a drop of water they have had. So I'm just saying this to say, I get it. It's going to take a while for it to get around, you know, the supplies to get around. It's a lot of ground to cover, but what can we do in the meantime, in between time? So people that are forgotten, and people that are in the mountains, and people that are senior citizens, and people that are not in the main areas can get help. You got to do your part. So I recommend sending money directly to a Jamaican that you know, right? This Western Union, Remedy, MoneyGram, shipping things directly to them. Or if you know somebody that's going to Jamaica, so you know that it's going to the right place and where people actually need the help. All right, you guys.
Now, I want us to start with what the sources agree on. Two key parishes, St. Elizabeth and Manchester. They hold what locals call the crop of Jamaica. These areas feed the nation, but after the recent hurricane, both were devastated. Crops like yam, plantain, banana, and tomato, all gone. Even backyard farmers lost everything. The ripple effect, a nationwide, food shortage. Meanwhile, the government's response has been chaotic. Yes, planes and helicopters brought in supplies, but ask anyone living in the countryside. They will tell you we still have no food, no water, no help. People in the mountains and rural communities, the very backbone of Jamaica's agriculture, have been forgotten. And while the poor starve, those with money are, panic buying. Rice, flour, and water vanish off shelves, some buying 50, even 100 bags at once. This isn't just crisis, it's collapse. So how did we get here? That is the question. And who should take responsibility? Many Jamaicans say the answer starts and ends with Minister Floyd Green. The accusation is clear. While the nation's farms were under threat, Green allegedly failed to act. Instead of preserving crops in the vital food-producing regions of St. Elizabeth and Manchester, critics say he was distracted, partying, politicking, and prioritizing profit. Reports claim he even focused on selling limestone, with one source saying he only cares about the money. But beyond personal blame, the crisis reveals something much bigger, a failure of systems, of leadership, and of compassion. Farmers in the West begged for support, seeds, fertilizers, emergency irrigation, anything to start production. Yet, no major government push came. And here's where things even get more frustrating. Some suggest that Green could have mitigated the disaster by relocating surviving farmers. The idea was simple and practical. Move the displaced farmers from one devastated parishes like St. Elizabeth and Manchester to underutilized farms in St. Catherine and Kingston. There is land there, plenty of it, but instead of cultivating it, it's being sold off for housing projects. Imagine if the government had stepped in, identified those lands and said, farmers, here's where we start again. Imagine new farms sprouting up across the island, keeping Jamaica's food supply stable even after the storm. But that never happened. Now, instead of food flowing from the farms to the markets, Jamaica's shelves are drying up, soaring, and in some areas, particularly rural and mountain communities, people have literally gone days without single meal. Now, let's talk about aid distribution. Sources claim that while aid has entered the country with helicopters and jets landing daily, the supplies aren't reaching the people who need them the most. Those living outside main areas, away from the highways and tourist zones, are being ignored. Senior citizens, children, and entire farming families have been left out. And to make matters worse, allegations of scamming and mismanagement of donations are circulating. Citizens are being warned not to trust official government channels unless they are 100% sure the aid is going where it's supposed to. Instead, the public is being encouraged to send help directly to friends, relatives, and trusted community contacts. People are told, don't use questionable donation sites. Don't wait for government trucks. Send money through Western Union or MoneyGram or ship barrels directly to named individuals. In other words, bypass the government entirely. That is how little faith the people now have in their leaders. Meanwhile, panic buying has only made things worse. Some consumers, out of fear, are clearing entire shelves, hoarding rice, flour, and water. That leaves nothing for the poor, the elderly, or the ones truly suffering. Stores are running dry. Some have even closed their doors, refusing to sell at all. At its core, Jamaica's food shortage is no longer just about the hurricane. It's about broken systems, poor leadership, and misplaced priorities. And yet, amidst the chaos, the people are, showing resilience. Farmers are trying to replant what little land they have left. Neighbors are sharing meals. Communities are pulling together while leaders pull apart. Still, many are asking one haunting question. If the Minister of Agriculture can't protect the nation's food, what is he protecting? It's a question that cuts deep, because food is survival. And when a nation that grows some of the richest produce in the Caribbean is now starving, it's more than a storm that's to blame. This is a wake-up call. Jamaica doesn't just need recovery, it needs reform. A new agricultural vision that prioritizes farmers, protects food security, and ensures that no matter how strong the winds blow, the people can still eat. Because the truth is this: the hurricane may have destroyed the crops, but it's leadership that's destroying the future. Guys, drop a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts. Also, remember to subscribe, like, and share as well. And until next time, bye-bye.